What's going on, guys? We have 6 different cases to quickly run through in today's video for the brand new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. We're going to start off with 4 cases from Samsung, and then we also have 2 cases from Pitaka, one of which you're going to want to stick around for because it seems like it's a little bit odd. But let's start out with this one right here, the clear magnet case. Sometimes I like these clear cases simply because they're going to show that cool color that you maybe got the exclusive one of off of the Samsung website. And I do like that it's got the MagSafe ring. We'll have to test at least a couple of accessories on that really quickly. One bad thing about these clear cases is that sometimes they will yellow. It's hard to kind of know if that's going to happen in a video like this because you just don't have enough time for that sort of thing to occur. I will say though that this is a hard plastic. Sometimes these are a bit more flexible than this, but this is not a flexible or a very flexible case. It is, as you can hear there, a fairly hard plastic shell. Installing it, there you go, pretty darn straightforward. And again, I like that you can really get a good look at that color down below. Power button feels just fine. Volume rockers are just fine. We don't really have to worry about issues with the cutouts and things like this because that's an official Samsung case. But you can see there how it is handling all of the cutouts. Everything does look, I would say, pretty much perfect. We'll actually jump ahead just a little bit because Pitaka did send this little phone ring holder as well. And that'd be a great thing to use to test this MagSafe ring. Boy, that is instantly very, very strong. That thing is absolutely on there. So MagSafe working very, very well. And this MagSafe ring is pretty cool because it actually opens up twice, which would allow you to do something like that. So that's pretty cool. It is a little bit thicker than some of the other ones, but you do get some additional utility out of it. I do also have this U-Green charging battery bank, and it does work, but the problem here, as you can see, is that it kind of overlaps with that lowest camera a little bit on this device, so you might have to kind of, rotate it a little bit to keep that from happening. Otherwise, you have a little bit of a gap, and the result of that is the connection isn't quite as strong, but it still actually is pretty strong because this case is a bit thicker, and it is aiding with that just a little bit. You can see that it is still working, so just something to keep in mind. If you're getting one of these Qi battery banks, that's not a lot of tolerance above the magnet, and yet it's going to overlap, and that's because look where the magnet is, and it overlaps with the camera. So Samsung, maybe if you had to lower this just a little bit, stuff like this would be more useful. Maybe you want something similar, but you're not a big fan of the MagSafe stuff. Maybe you're just never going to use the MagSafe stuff. Well, they do have this option here, which seems to be very, very similar. Although I will say this feels a lot thinner, and this is something that may not be clear on the listing. You would think that these two would be exactly the same minus the MagSafe ring, but they are absolutely not. This feels much flimsier. Listen to that, and then listen to this. You can hear the difference. This is a much flimsier case, and I'm sure that it's still absolutely fine. Your cutouts and everything look identical to before. It is lower profile. It is thinner, so it's not adding as much bulk to the device, but it's also not going to add as much protection, and then obviously you don't have the MagSafe ring. Going a different direction now. This one is called the Kindsuit Case. I don't actually know why it's called a Kindsuit Case. What is kind about this? I don't actually know. Ooh, but I instantly kind of dig the feeling of this. So first off, we have this nice soft material on the inside, and this actually reminds me of some of the silicone pixel cases. But on the outside, it's almost like a faux leather type thing, but there's like a little bit of give to it. It's not quite as grippy as I would like, and as you can see, it is quite flexible. So obviously with my jade color underneath, it does look a little bit strange, but nonetheless, if I wanted sort of a bluish color, almost has like a purple hue to it, this would definitely be a good way to go. The buttons feel just fine, and you can see how the cutouts are handled down below. I think that this one's pretty good. I just wouldn't necessarily advise it if you don't have a matching color underneath. And again, if you're expecting this to be particularly grippy, it's definitely grippier than the phone, but it almost kind of reminds me of like car upholstery. As you can see how it's kind of a little bit shiny. It's just not like a tacky, grippy kind of material. I got this one because I thought it might actually match the color a bit better, and I am a fan of these silicone cases, but they do have at least one flaw that I don't love. As you can see, they are maintaining that sort of silver thing around the camera module. The color is still quite muted. I was hoping from the box, from the packaging, that it would be a lot like more of a striking color, but in person, it's really a bit more muted than I was hoping that it would be. Par for the course for modern flagship phones. No fun colors allowed. On the inside, no sort of coating or anything like that to make it more grippy, but that's fine. And again, it's silicone, so it is, you know, fairly flexible. When it's installed, it does add the most grip of any of these cases so far, though. If you look down here at the bottom, here's one interesting thing. These areas like this are really, really soft and squishy. You can move them around, and you'll feel that occasionally. It might feel a little bit weird. The thing that I mentioned that I don't love about these silicone cases, if you live in a house with dogs and pets, static cling is an issue. Dog hairs, I've actually had stick to this. So if that kind of thing drives you crazy, this might not be the one to go with. But so far of the bunch, it's either going to be this one or it's going to be the clear one with MagSafe for my favorite. But now we do need to switch gears and talk about Pitaka. And I do also want to quickly say, the Samsung cases I bought with my own money. The Pitaka case, they were kind enough to send to me, so thanks to Pitaka for that. This is the tactile woven case, and what this means is it is an Aramid fiber case, as you can see, sort of woven together. This allows this case to be very, very thin, but also quite durable. As you can see, these other cases are going to be much, much thicker than this one is, and it does indeed have that MagSafe ring below. I actually really like that design. As it is Aramid fiber, you will see the oil from your skin get picked up on it, so that's something to keep in mind. Installation should be an absolute breeze. You can see too that they've done something different with the camera module, actually building like a full module, like it's not individual rings anymore. That's actually a pretty cool way to go about that. We can attach the MagSafe ring to it, and it is quite strong. It's actually not as strong of a connection as it had with Samsung's case, so that is something to keep in mind. But this is not going to add a lot of bulk at all. Totally transforms the look of the device. It is adding some grip to it without a lot of bulk. I'm a big fan of these Aramid fiber cases. We'll take a quick look at how the little cutouts are doing. That's pretty darn close to perfect. If we come down here to the bottom, yeah, that's absolutely fine as well. The S Pen is still accessible with no problem at all, and then your volume rocker and your power button are just in a large cutout, so no issues there either. I do want to quickly point out that at time of recording, the color that they sent me is not appearing on their Amazon listing. Now, if you go to their official website, you can see that Milky Way Galaxy color, and you can also see this other one here. There's a couple of additional options directly on their website. Now, the next case that we're going to be talking about is also from Pitaka, but at time of recording, it still shows as coming soon. I believe it's going to be launching on February the 7th, and it should be around the $70 mark. I hope I'm not wrong about that. That's what it was last year with the S24 Ultra, so I'm assuming probably in that same range again, February the 7th. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at it. So this last one, I have to admit, is the one I was most excited to test out. This is the PinButton Case, and it says it has 3 customizable buttons. And that is absolutely bizarre. So let's open this thing up, and I'm going to show you how to get this thing working. So the first thing I want to point out is the instructions that they have here, where they talk about turning on NFC scanning and then tapping the bottom right corner of your case. Maybe there's a way to make that work. It looks like it's actually down in that area there. We'll try that as well and see what happens. But there's another way to go about setting this thing up that I actually did instead. Looking at the case, claim to fame here, besides the MagSafe ring on the inside, is that yes, you have your standard buttons that press the buttons on your phone, but you also have these 3 buttons over here, which do act as little NFC tags that you can map to different things on your phone. So let's go ahead and install this thing. And what we should be able to do, looking at what they're saying, something is supposed to happen when I tap that portion, but it just doesn't seem to work. So we're just going to do it the way that I found out how to do it. We're going to go into modes and routines. We're going to go into routines. And then you can see I've already set up 2 of them, but we're going to set up a 3rd one. What will trigger this routine? We're going to go down here to an NFC tag. And you can press and hold one of these buttons, and it will pick it up. And I'm going to call it button 3. And now what you can do is add an action. And it can be so many different things. You can do simple things. You can come down here to apps and you can go open an app or do an app action, and you can have that button open any application you have, but also do other things. Like, here's a good example. I really enjoy bird watching, and one of my favorite applications is Merlin. It has this thing where it basically listens to the bird's calls and tells you what it is. So what if I wanted to have that button literally mapped to start a recording in Merlin? How flippin' cool is that? So let's close that. We'll open it back up with the button. Boom, I am listening for a bird. I've got the middle button mapped to free up device RAM. You can see I just freed up 252 megabytes of RAM. Let's hold the top button. And now what we're going to do is take a screenshot, which I can quickly edit. It is its own little screenshot button. You can make this thing do so many different things. We'll go back in here and we will go into edit. And I'll quickly kind of show you, if I delete, take a screenshot, how many different things we have. Let's do all actions. I mean, it's on and on and on. Start timers, toggling Dolby Atmos, boosting dialogue volume, answer your phone with the speakerphone. I mean, there's just so much utility that you can add to these little buttons on the side of your phone. And I think that that makes this case maybe the best case of the lot. Obviously, MagSafe is there, and it is quite strong. You're going to have the same problems with the MagSafe battery packs, where it's going to overlap a little bit, but as you can see, it is still working. I do wish that visually it was a little bit more exciting than this, but because of those buttons, that might just be the case for me. So there you go, guys. 6 cases in round about 12 minutes. I think that's pretty good. All of them did actually seem pretty solid, right? The only one that really stood out to me as being a little bit lackluster was that basic clear case, and that's simply just because it's really, really thin and flimsy, but I believe it was also the cheapest of the bunch. If you've got a little bit of extra cash, spring for that MagSafe one. It is so much thicker and more rigid feeling. Both of the other softer cases from Samsung I thought were pretty darn good. I do lean towards the silicone over the Kindsuit case, even though I do like the inner backing of that Kindsuit case a little bit more. And then the Pitaka stuff, both great, right? I love Aramid fiber. I've talked about it a million times. You know how much I enjoy Aramid fiber cases, but man, the extra buttons on the side of the PinButton case is really like such a novel concept that I'm like shocked I haven't heard of before, that I do believe that's going to be the case for me, at least for the foreseeable future. Like I said earlier, Pitaka did send their cases over to me, but as with all of my reviews, they are seeing this video at the exact same time as you are, which means they had no input into what I said, and they don't know what I'm going to say until I have already said it. I will say, I will have links in the description to all of these cases. If you click the link and you make a purchase, I will earn commission off of that purchase, and that's a great way to help support the channel. Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.